Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're gonna be hopping in the boat with Joel Nelson. We're gonna be chasing panfish. He's gonna share a bunch of good tips and he's gonna show off a new lure from Northland, an open water panfish jig. So without further ado, let's jump right in.
Nice little guy. Fighting and turning and twisting. Well, today we're out on a body of water that's got some deep brush piles and cribs, and it's been a pleasure fishing this new tungsten jig. It's a Northland tackle, tungsten flat fry fly. It's got a really buggy, lifelike look to it, and the big part of what we're talking about here today is tungsten. We're fishing in 15 to 18 feet of water for all these cribs and brush piles, and it's really important to be able to get down to these fish, but also have a tight line, yet have a small enough profile that those gills, even a medium-sized to smaller-sized gill like that one, can get it in their mouth and you'd be able to catch it. So the hook size is perfect for it. It's got all these bug-like qualities to it that we really like, kind of that wet hackle look to it. It's really lifelike, kind of breathes underwater. But again, most importantly, the weight to size ratio is just perfect for bluegill. So that's why this one's been a winner so far. I'm gonna get right back down there.
Next up, Joel is gonna share why he tends to prefer artificials only strategy when it comes to open water panfish.
It's been a gas here. We're getting on them. These fish are everywhere, and in summer you're gonna see it a lot where they school up like this, and there's just loads of them down there. But like Mike was saying, the real trick can be actually just using the natural attracting portion of this bait to get bit. You know, we're noticing that if we're putting on crawlers or anything else, we may be getting bit more. We maybe even catch more fish, but we're certainly not catching the quality of fish that we're gonna wanna catch. So it's really nice to have a bait with that bug-like enticement and being able to let the bait do the work for you. That's really what this vertical jigging bite is all about. You stay right on top of them, you manage what you can on the electronics, and then all it takes is simply just wiggling the rod tip a little bit, just kind of pop, 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 pop. And fish that are the better ones, the ones we want, are literally coming up and just grabbing it and holding on, rather than some of the smaller fish are coming up and they'll pop it, they'll bump it, they'll hit it a little bit, they're just not really committing. So it's been nice to be able to fish the tungsten, get down to where we need to be, and have the fish actually commit, put it to the back of their throat, set the hook, and it's all done.
Now Joel's gonna talk a little bit about how he strategically goes about finding and targeting more of those larger to moderate sized fish for the pan.
Yeah, we've been getting some of these better fish just off the edges, and you know, summer's here and these fish are schooling up big time. And better fish tend to hang out with better fish. There's a nice little guy. And if you're trying to catch a bunch of bluegills for a meal, even though you don't need some of these bigger fish, it's nice just to be able to target those. So when I'm trying to go after big fish, I'm typically fishing a little bit deeper than the rest of the crowd. If you've ever done live bait rigging or pulling spinner rigs for walleyes and you get this beautiful rock spot and it's out in deeper water and all of a sudden you catch some trophy bluegills, it's a common thing. Those big bulls hang out together, typically on some of the better structure, even walleye related structure. So if you're targeting them for, you know, catching trophies, that's a great tactic. Fish a little bit deeper, fish structure, fish out from the edges of the weeds, rather than in with the hordes of fish that you're maybe marking on the electronics. Those bigger schools of bulls run together. But if you're trying to catch fish for the pan, it's amazing what you can get out of a 7 to 8 inch bluegill. And from a conservation related perspective, they're better fish to keep anyway. And from a simple ease of catching, there's more of them in the system. So if you're trying to catch fish for the pan, I have no problem keeping a 7.5 inch, 8 inch gill. They fillet up great. Believe it or not, I actually did this test with my family. I kept 5 of them from a small lake, 7.5 inch fish. And for 4 of us, my kids were young at the time, we were able to have fish tacos for everybody. We had sides and the like, but it's amazing if you're just trying to get an easy, simple, quick meal of fish. It doesn't take a lot of bluegills to go further than you would think. If you're eating just fish, yeah, granted, you're gonna need more, but I'm always impressed with how far we can make just a couple bluegills go. They certainly don't need to be anywhere over 8, 9 inches. Those 10s, yeah, there's just not a lot of point for me to keep one.
Next up, Joel is gonna pop another nice sunfish, and he's gonna share a few more of his thoughts on capitalizing on this bite.
Big gills, they do that hubcap thing where they swim in circles, and this is a good one. One of the better ones today that we've caught, and predictable as all can be. You know, we we kind of slid off of our spot. We got to the edge, saw a better school down there. And again, that tungsten flat fry fly has been a great bait for us because, again, I don't have it dressed. I don't have a crawler on it, and I was able to just simply drop down into that school, stay vertical. It's a heavier jig than it looks because it's, again, more compact. That density to weight ratio is just perfect. So it's been a great day out here. We've caught a lot of fish vertical jigging. If you're summer fishing, you've got some cribs in the lake, some brush, even some deep weed edges, this is a great technique to catch a lot of fish and catch a lot of fish fast. Whether you're after eaters or trophies like we're gonna release like this one, it's a great way to be able to get out with the family, get out yourself, and just enjoy summer, because sometimes when you're fishing in the summer, game fish species aren't always cooperative. You can have tough bite windows that only happen really early or late. We're out here middle of the day, as you can see, and absolutely just pummeling on these fish, having a great time doing it. So there you have it. It's the tungsten flat fry fly. It's a great jig. Go ahead and fish it out on the edges a little bit deeper. Big schools of bluegills like we're doing right now. You're gonna have a gas, I promise.
Well, that's about all we got for you in this video. Special thanks to Joel for sharing a bunch of really good information. If you enjoyed this video and you learned something, make sure to hit that little red subscribe button down below, because we have a lot more awesome content coming in the future. And until then, we will see you in the next one.